Yo, what's going on, everybody? Thank you for joining me on another episode of the podcast, the Simple Habits, Great Results podcast. And as always, first and foremost, I'd like to thank you all for your views, your likes, your comments, and everything like that, and subscribes. And if you haven't subscribed already and you're just now watching this, please feel free to hit that subscribe button right down there, please. It really helps with the channel. It helps with more eyes getting to this channel so they can learn information on weight loss and nutrition and health and everything like that from me, a nutritionist, and all that good stuff. So in today's episode, we are going to focus on weight loss and exercise. Those two things go hand in hand. We're going to talk about how exercise helps you lose weight. We're going to talk about what types of exercises that you should be doing and incorporating in a daily fashion. We're going to talk about what exercise actually does for the body. And then lastly, we're going to talk about the recovery aspect of working out and everything like that when it comes to weight loss. So hope you guys enjoy this episode, and here we go. So how exercise helps. When we're talking about weight loss or any type of thing, we have to look at it from the standpoint of calorie deficits. Calorie deficit, calorie deficit, calorie deficit. That's the only way that you're going to lose weight. I don't care how, why, or what it is. If you want to lose weight, you have to be in a calorie deficit. It's not really a secret anymore because we kind of understood that it's what energy is. But where exercise helps is it actually allows you to burn those extra calories on top of what your body already does. Now, granted, some of your watches may tell you that you burn X amount of calories, Y amount of calories, and that's fine. But for the most part, they can be a little inaccurate. I'm not going to get into all that science, but when you think about exercise, you're thinking about sweating, you're thinking about moving, you're thinking about doing more than you typically do on a day-to-day basis, which helps burn more calories. So let's say, for instance, I'll give myself as an example. On a day-to-day basis, my watch tells me that I roughly burn I'm not working out, I'm not doing anything. I typically will burn around 2,100 calories in a day. Okay, so all things being equal, if I ate 2,100 calories in a day, I would stay at my net weight. If I ate less than that, then I would lose weight technically because I'm consuming less than I'm actually burning. So when we talk about exercise, that just literally adds an extra anywhere from 2 to 5 to even 600 extra calories that you are burning in that day, which is beneficial. It helps because, again, it helps you stay in a calorie deficit, which is the only way you lose weight. Calorie deficit, okay? I can't say that enough. Calorie deficit is the only way you lose weight, okay? So exercise helps that. It helps that from a number of reasons. I mean, from the calories that you burn on the day-to-day basis, on top of what you did while exercising. It helps from the recovery standpoint because your body has to use energy to make sure that you're ready for the next day. That's more energy that the body is having to produce in order to make sure that you stay alive and that you are all right for the next day. Exercise is really that thing that can really take you from no weight loss at all to seeing some pretty good changes because your body gets used to the inactivity. So for instance, let's say a person doesn't move that much. They have a desk job and they don't exercise or anything like that. And their body is burning, let's say, roughly 1,500 calories because of the inactivity. Well, if you're eating 1,500 calories, what's that going to do for you? Absolutely nothing. And even if you're eating 1,200, you're going to see a minimal amount of weight loss because that's not that great of a deficit. Granted, it is a deficit, but it's not that great of a deficit. So we use exercise in order to help increase that deficit. Okay, so where you're burning 1,500 calories just by sitting, okay, maybe you worked out and you burned an extra 500 calories. So that's 2,000 calories on top of the 1,200 that you're eating. Bam, that's an even bigger deficit, which means you're going to see greater results. Okay, exercise is important. Movement is important. We literally have made it this far because of movement. So don't stop moving. Next, we're going to talk about how you should work out. This is just my opinion, but that's just how you should work out. In my opinion, the best way to exercise and to lose weight and to just become a fitter overall individual is CrossFit. Now, granted, I am completely biased when I say that because I am a CrossFit guy. I've been a CrossFit guy for the past 11, 12, 13, how many ever years it's been. I've been a CrossFit guy. So functional movement, that's the most important thing that you can potentially do that's going to help you reach your goals from an exercise standpoint and also from a life and fitness standpoint too. So if you're doing constantly varied functional movement executed at a high intensity, you're going to see results. Because the most important thing that most people miss out when it comes to working out is the intensity piece. If it's not forcing your body to adapt and change, you're not going to see the results that you want. If you go to the gym and it's easy peasy, you're not going to see the results that you want. But if you go there and it's pretty difficult, your body doesn't like to be embarrassed. So it's gonna figure out how to adapt and overcome to that, which is going to be more beneficial for you from a body composition standpoint, from a fitness standpoint, and from a weight loss standpoint too. So first and foremost, I will always say CrossFit. But if you're not a big fan of CrossFit, which is fine, there are other options. The one that I particularly like is 3 days of full body resistance training. On top of that, a couple of days of cardio or just getting out and moving more throughout the day. And what that looks like, let's just take one day for example. So you start off with your full body day one, you hit some chest, okay, and then you hit your hamstrings and glutes, calves, and then some ab stuff, okay? Then you rest a day or two. Next day you come in and you hit your back, you hit your biceps, you hit your quads, calves, and abs. So basically you're trying to, every day you go, you hit your full body worth of exercises and make it challenging too, because again, if your body isn't challenged by it, it's not going to see the results. You're not going to see the results that you want to see. So you have to be challenged by what you're doing. And as far as cardio goes, not necessarily going for a run or walking on a treadmill for hours upon hours, but just getting out and doing more, just going for a hike or just going to a trail and walking, or if you like running or jogging, doing that kind of stuff. And that can be very beneficial from a lot of standpoints. So when I think about bodybuilders, I think about people who are completely jacked, right? But if I told them to go run a mile, they would have a really hard time doing that. On the flip side, if I had runners who ran marathons, if I told them to deadlift 2 times their body weight, they probably wouldn't be able to do that. And once they get older, on one end, you have people with a lot of heart issues and lung issues because they never worked them. And on the opposite end, you have people who have poor strength and can't necessarily live on their own because they can't really pick up anything. So to be at your optimal level as far as strength training and resistance training and working out in general, it is best to be able to do all of both, like both of everything. So if you can lift, that's perfect. If you can run, that's perfect. Do a combination of both in order to help you get to where you want to be, so that when you're like 90, you can still breathe very well. Your heart still operates and functions very well. And you can also pick up stuff like it's nothing. So those are the things that you want to look at when you're talking about exercise, and why I prefer CrossFit for one, because it gives you all of that. And then a full body split plus cardio on the opposite days in order to help you make sure that your lungs, heart, and muscles are taken care of, because that's important. But that also helps you lose weight because you're building muscle, you're burning calories. Building muscle and burning calories is like, it's night and day at the results that you'll see. So make sure that whenever you're doing your exercise, it's A, intense enough to make your body adapt. B, it has some type of muscle building feature to it. And C, it has something that's going to keep your heart and lungs healthy too. So with the CrossFit or the full body and cardio, the biggest component to that that's beneficial for you as a human being is the fact that while doing these things, you're going to be building muscle and burning fat. When we think about weight loss, we think about just losing fat, right? Well, it's really hard just to lose fat alone by itself. You will always, always, always lose some form of muscle when you're in a calorie deficit. But that's why building muscle is very important while you're in a calorie deficit. Because when you really want that body composition that most people really want, I'll be honest with you, most people really want that lean look where their muscles look great, they see their abs. A lot of people really want that. And the only way really to get that is while you're in a calorie deficit to be trying to build muscle. You may not be at that moment building muscle, you're more like preserving the muscle that you have, but you're also not losing a lot either. So you can really focus on losing fat instead of fat and muscle. Because a lot of people that I've dealt with, a lot of lady clients that I've dealt with, even at my corporate nutrition job that I used to have, they would not work out at all. They would just be in a calorie deficit. And next thing you know, they'll walk in and they may have gotten to their goal, but their body just doesn't look like it should because all they did was lost fat and muscle because they were afraid to lift weights. So this goes back to my episode on Trust Me, You Won't Get Bulky, because it is very important for you to build muscle or try to keep the muscle that you have while you're in a calorie deficit. That's the most important thing. That's what's going to help you live longer by yourself and be stronger to the point where you don't have to necessarily use an assisted living facility as a place of residency because you can live on your own because you're strong enough to do so. So start lifting. And on the flip side, again, if all you're doing is building muscle and you're not losing any fat, that's what we call bulking. That's really what we call bulking. And a lot of people are doing that. A lot of people are eating to bulk and not necessarily working out to get the benefit of the bulk. But a lot of people are literally just eating and lifting weights. They're not doing any kind of movement outside of just bench press, back squats, deadlifts, that kind of thing. Again, those things are fantastic. I'm not going to tell you not to do that. I'm actually going to encourage you to do that. But I'm also encouraging you to do a little bit more too. A little bit more movement throughout the day. Don't sit at your desk all day long. Don't sit on the couch all day long and then get up and go to the gym. Okay? Just do a little bit more. Do a little bit more so that you don't lose both muscle and fat. You can just minimize the amount of muscle loss and maximize the amount of fat that is lost. That's why it's important for you to do both. That's why I'm a huge component of CrossFit, because you do a lot of cardio, you do a lot of weightlifting, but that's neither here nor there. I'm completely biased again. So I'll be honest with that. But even when you think about how we made it to this point, our ancestors who first started walking, they had to be able to escape from things. You know, they had to be able to escape from a saber-toothed tiger or whatever it was back then. So they had to have the ability to run, right? They also had to carry their own food. So whenever they would make a kill or whatever, they would need to pick up their food and carry it back to where they could eat it. So they were strong. They were able to run. They were able to move because they had to. Now, granted, we're not in that time. Granted, we have a lot of technological advances that's going to help us and propel us forward going forward, but we still should be able to do those same things. There's no reason why I should ask anybody, hey, how fast can you run a mile? And they laugh because they can't. There's no reason why I should walk up to a person who runs a lot and tell them to lift their 2 times their body weight and they can't do it. Because we should be able to do those things. We should be able to run a mile, go pick up our kids and carry them back and forth. We should be able to walk upstairs without having to catch our breath and stand at the top of the stairs for 30 minutes trying to catch our breath. We should be able to do all these things. But because we, for whatever reason, chose one way or the other, a lot of people who are, again, bodybuilders can't walk up the stairs without having to catch their breath. Or a lot of people who are runners can't necessarily do anything weight-wise because they're just not strong enough. Now, CrossFitters can, but again, I'm biased. Anyways, so from that standpoint, be able to do both. You won't be great at one thing, but you'll be really, really good at several things, which is by far more beneficial for you and your health and longevity and your weight loss goals, to be able to do both running, jogging, walking, sprinting, and deadlifts, back squats, front squats, bench press, shoulder press. You should be able to do all those things. So work on it all. And again, implementing a 3-day a week of full body training with 2 or 3 days mixed in with extra movement throughout the day, or walking or going for a run. Bam, there you go. Or if you feel eager, go join a CrossFit gym, or find somebody who specializes in functional movement and all that good stuff, because those are the things that's going to help propel you forward and help you see the goals that you want to see, help you look in the mirror and be happy with who you are as far as your body composition goes, and help you just feel better, healthier, fitter, stronger. You got to do all this stuff. You can't just do one. Okay? So this is not an all or none kind of thing. If all you can do at this point in time is walk, heck, go ahead, keep walking. But I challenge you to walk a little faster. Or if all you can do is, or if all the weights that you have to lift are grocery bags, okay, bam, there you go. Pick up your grocery bags 2 or 3 times. That's a deadlift. There you go, bam, you're doing some type of resistance training. There are easy ways to incorporate these things into your day-to-day basis and day-to-day practice if you really just sit back and think about it. Burning fat and building muscle can be done at the same time, but most importantly, while you're losing fat, just burning fat and losing a lot of muscle is not beneficial for you. And it's not going to give you the body that you want. Yeah, you may lose the weight and you may step on the scale and it may show you the number that you want to see, but is that the body that you actually want? That's your choice. So the last thing that we're going to hit on is the recovery aspect of it, because a lot of people don't necessarily think about recovery as a way to help you lose weight. But it takes energy for the body to recover from anything, which is why movement is very important, which is why lifting weights and building muscle is very important, which is why getting some form of cardiovascular exercise is very important, because your body uses the food that you give it as a way to help recover. So instead of your body just storing the food that you eat, it actually is using the food in order to help you get better for the next day. So if your nutrition is on point when it comes to exercise, when we talk about nutrition, we talk about just protein, make sure that your protein levels are up, make sure you're having a good source of carbohydrates and fats, and make sure that you have ample fruit and vegetables. When that is on point, the food is actually used as fuel to help you recover from your workout. So that's a huge thing, because most people who are just kind of sedentary, their food is used as storage. It's just stored there. It's not doing anything. But if you actually get up and start moving more, your food start working for you in a completely different way. And it's absolutely beautiful when your body is trained to do this, because you can almost eat whatever you want. I'm not telling you to eat whatever you want, but I'm saying you can almost eat whatever you want, because your body is just going to use that as a way to recover from your workout. And the most underrated thing when we talk about weight loss is sleep. Sleep is such a huge part of weight loss, because if your body doesn't have a chance to recover from the day, it's always in a constant state of stress. If your body is always in a constant state of stress, that's more inflammation throughout your body. More inflammation means more water means more weight. And then when you input the food, it's not doing what it's supposed to do because it is steadily trying to repair itself from all the inflammation that your body is going through. Some inflammation is good, but not all inflammation is good for your body too. So make sure that you get enough sleep so that your body can have an opportunity to reset. Make sure that you get enough sleep so your body has the opportunity to recover. And make sure that you get enough sleep so that your body can effectively help you in the weight loss process, because your body just wants what's best for you. So get enough sleep. That's another critical part of the recovery process that we don't necessarily talk about unless you're in this field of health and nutrition. So get a good bit of sleep, and it will help you with your weight loss, and it'll help you recover for the next day and feel well rested so that you can do more and be more. Because your body needs energy, which is the last thing that we'll talk about when it comes to recovery. If you feel like you don't have enough energy, make sure that you're checking your nutrition. Make sure that you're measuring and adjusting your sleep so that you have good quality sleep for at least 7 to 8 hours. If 9 is possible, that's fantastic. But understanding what your energy level is telling you. Because if you're active, it's amazing how much energy that you'll have. If you're active and recovering properly, you will feel like a whole new person. And in time, you will look like a whole new person too. So when we talk about recovery, your body needs to understand how to use the food that you're getting. If it's actually using it, that's a great thing. If it's storing it, maybe not so much from a weight loss perspective. So make sure that your body is doing the things that it needs to do in order to help you lose weight. And on top of strength training and cardiovascular training, i.e. walking, running, jogging, swimming, biking, all that good stuff, you can be a brand new person in no time. Absolutely. So make sure that you're either doing CrossFit, again, truly biased. B, that you are doing some type of full body split where you're training each muscle group 3 days a week. On top of that, doing at least 2 to 3 days in addition to that of some type of cardio. And if I don't want to discourage anybody, if you can't do it, if you feel like you don't have the time to do it, just do 1 day. Work on it 1 day at a time. It doesn't have to be 3 to start. It can be just 1 day of full body training and a couple of days of walking. And as you continue to improve and get better and feel better, maybe you can bump it up to 2 and then 3, okay? For most people, 3 days would be fantastic. For most people, more than that will be too much because you can't properly recover. So take baby steps. Make sure that you are doing what you need to do on a day-to-day basis to help you lose weight. And resistance training and weightlifting and exercise are a huge step in the right direction. So if you can get it in at least 1 day a week, that's better than none. But if you can get it in 3, you're right in your wheelhouse. All right. So with that being said, that is it for the podcast or the episode of the podcast today. I am excited to announce that I am going to be doing some day of eating, basically, just kind of show you what I eat on a day-to-day basis. Currently, I am in a more so performance standpoint, not trying to gain weight, not trying to lose weight or anything, definitely not trying to lose weight, but I am in a state of eating for performance. So what you'll see is a good bit of protein, a lot of carbs, some fats here and there kind of thing, but I am going to start rolling that stuff out pretty soon here. Editing it is a pain in the butt, but I'm working on it, and I hope I can deliver you all a great product that's going to give you even more content on what I'm doing and how I'm doing and everything that's going on with the business and all that good stuff. So Hope you all enjoyed this episode. Next week, we'll have me and my wife again, which is always fun. We're going to have an awesome topic. Uh, we're trying to narrow it down between we got one of three choices right now. We're trying to narrow it down now, but it's either one of the three is going to be outstanding because hell, I think the first one was really good, to be honest with you. But hope everybody just again creates themselves a great day, and we'll see you next week. Peace.